Welcome to AR Media. I'm Mr. Rembrandt. We're going to go ahead and get into it. So I had a pleasure, right? I had a pleasure to, so there was some individuals I was around, right? And it was a little confusing. This individual I was around, he was talking about, basically how it's unfair for the rich, right? So he was talking about how, for example, during this quarantine situation, there was an individual, I guess, that he saw on YouTube or in the paper or something like that, how rich he was and how he was able to just quarantine on his yacht, right? And excuse me. So at first he was saying, how, in actuality, he was saying, how great this is, how, oh, this guy could go quarantine on his yacht. He earned it, basically. He earned it. He's quarantining on his yacht. He's got money. And then at the same time, at the same token, he says, he goes ahead and talks about how, rich people and all their money, and it makes me sick, and I'm sick and tired of it, and why do you need $100 million in life? And it got me thinking, like, do you know what you're saying right now? So what I picked up from it, and this is absolutely positively what happens to individuals psychologically, is that you actually want to be that. You want to be that, but then there's a part of you that psychologically keeps you from being that because you despise that individual or what he has or being rich. There's a portion of you that despises that, but there's a large portion of you that actually wants that. Because in the same token, you're talking negative and being condescending towards this about this individual, but then at the same time, you're imagining yourself being him. So it's like, so what happens when it comes to a person like this? So usually when a person reaches that particular point in life, is bad, it's sad, because when a person reaches that particular point, it's like they've surpassed the motivation port. They've got to a point where they're so sick now that they don't even want to see positivity when it comes to rich people. They're just all negative. They're just all bad, right? So then you start getting into this poor mentality, right? And which could be, not all the time, but you could even go into a mentality of leftism where you believe that all problems in life are social problems, and it has nothing to do with economic or financial problems, and you're not the problem. It's your intersectionality is the complete problem, and that's bullcrap. Something has happened to you psychologically that has put you in a place, put you in that type of psychological state that has stunt your growth, that doesn't allow you to grow up in life, right? And it's like, why is that? Where did that come from? And there's a lot of reasons why. So to stay on point, if you want to become an individual who is successful, who's out there getting it, who's out there doing their thing, one thing you got to do is you got to put action. You got to get your motivation, you got to get your drive, you got to get your intelligence, you got to get your knowledge, but you also got to get you got to get off your feet. You got to get on your feet and get at it. You got to get off your butt, get on your feet and get at it. Okay, so going back to this particular individual, it reminded me, when he started going on, it reminded me of a book that I read. It's one of the first business books I ever read, and it's called Mind of a Millionaire, T. Harv Eker. And this book is not for everybody, right? This book can make some people angry, because in this book, T. Harv Eker talks a lot about telling people you're poor. If you do this, you're poor. If you have this type of behavior, you're poor. And it's not to get offended, because Poor is a mental state. Poor is not a financial state. Yes, it's a financial state, but poor is a mental state, right? You know, if you're making minimum wage and you're saving half of your income every year, and you're taking a percentage of that income that you save, let's say 50% of that income that you save, and you're investing it, you're not poor. You have a rich mentality, right? You might be in a financial state where you're not financially wealthy or rich at that point, but with that type of rich mentality, you'll get there, absolutely positively. So with that said, poor is a mentality. Poor is it's a state of mind. And if you want to get successful, you have to come out of that state of mind, right? So T. Harv Eker in the book talks about, you know, you're either broke because you hate rich people, or the fact that you hate rich people is the reason why you're broke. So usually people who have a broke mindset, who have a poor mindset, and is psychologically and systemically stuck in that mindset, some way or another, they probably dislike or hate rich people at some point or in some type of way. And people who have that mentality, they will never be rich. They will never be poor, because unconsciously they are putting up a mental barrier around them that will prevent them from being successful. You can't be successful and hate rich people. How are you going to be rich and hate rich people? That means that you're going to become a person that you dislike. You psychologically are not going to allow yourself to become a person that you dislike, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? So you have to come to a choice, to a state in time in your life where you got to stop hating rich people. Because if you continue to hate rich people, you will never, ever get there. You will never, ever get there. You will never, ever get there if you continue to have a psychological state in your mind that you hate rich people, right? You see somebody driving a nice car. You see somebody in a nice house. You tell yourself, I'm going to get there. You don't look at them and say, look at those filthy bastards. Keep calling them filthy bastard, because at the end of the day, you're the filthy bastard because you're the poor bastard. Meanwhile, they driving off in nice cars, big houses, going on trips, going on vacations. Meanwhile, you haven't taken that jump. As Steve Harvey said, you got to take that jump. When you see people out there soaring, living life, living good, and you sitting back and you just driving your hoopty broken down, that's what it sounds like when you turn around that corner, because the car is sputtering, right? Because the transmission's about to go. No, you have to stop hating rich people. You have to figure out how I can be a rich people, and you have to psychologically stop hating rich people. That same person, right? When they started talking about the individual with the yacht, right? This was about three weeks ago. So this same individual starts talking about taxes. Starts talking about, how unfair it is for this person making $10 million and they paying 18% tax. Meanwhile, I'm paying 40%. I said, first of all, I know how much you make. You're not paying 40% taxes, so you don't even know the tax law. Second of all, are you mad at him because he's smart? Oh, well, but he's cheating. What do you mean he's cheating? If you cheat on your taxes, you go to jail. He's not in jail. Well, he's treading upon a gray area. It ain't gray. It's in black and white, right? You're using tax law, tax provision. It's in black and white. But the moral of the story is, it had nothing to do with taxes. He just hates the fact that rich people have money and they're smart, right? This individual I think is making around $50,000 a year. He's not paying 40. He's not in the 40% tax bracket. He doesn't know. First of all, he can't even increase his knowledge to know what tax bracket he's in. and it really, it's not 50 that he's making, it's really like 42. And first of all, you don't know the tax brackets, right? So you don't know finances, you don't know economics, right? So you haven't even learned that, right? And you're double my age, so you haven't even learned that, right? And you're over 50 something years old, you haven't even figured that out. Second of all, most smart people do some type of tax deduction when it comes to their income, right? They write off gas, they do deductions, they write off you can write off interest on loans, you can write off interest on mortgages, you can anything that you, like I said, you've done for driving to and from work or work related driving in or ventures, all tax deductible. Entertainment is 50% of entertainment is tax deductible. All of these different things that you can do, I'm not even going to go into all of it. It's a million different things you can do to lower your taxable income. And this individual does zero of it. Every single one of you individuals right now could be using some type of tax code to lower your tax bracket, to lower your taxable income. But individuals don't do it. And then you want to complain that rich people are doing something bad. They're not doing something bad. They're being smart. Stop hating rich people. You will never get there. You will never get successful. You will never get out of the current situation you are hating rich people. You have to stop it.
There's a lot of emotional information out there. If you want factual, epistemic information, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to AR Media Institute. See you on the next video.